Hey everybody, Alex Anselme here with Anselme Tennis. Today I'm going to tell you guys what is an inside stroke and what is an outside stroke. Now if you've never heard of what an inside stroke is or what an outside stroke is before, don't worry about it. I actually didn't even know about it in my whole junior career. Even I played 4 years of college tennis without even knowing what this was. It wasn't until the first job I had teaching tennis, we're doing drills and I'm hearing inside strokes, outside strokes. I'm thinking, what is this nonsense? Why don't we just say we're doing cross-court forehands or cross-court backhands or something like that? Because that's how I learned it. That's what I knew about it. But don't worry if you never heard of what this is before, because well, one of the reasons why I'm making the video is that actually I don't hear this being talked about enough. And I'll admit that when I first heard about this, I thought this was a stupid way of talking about it and calling it or whatever. But down the line, actually, if you want to learn a few strategic aspects of tennis and stuff like that, which I'm going to make a few videos about in the future, it would be good for you to understand and know what an inside stroke is and what an outside stroke is, okay? So, to put it really simply, what defines an inside stroke and what's an outside stroke? An outside stroke is a shot that you're going to hit where the ball has crossed your body before you make contact. Okay, so if we're rallying cross court on the ad court here, two right-handed players, and we're hitting backhand to backhand, okay? When the ball crosses my body and gets over to a backhand, that makes my backhand an outside stroke, okay? And that's why actually from this position of the court, you've probably heard of inside-out forehand or inside-in forehand. So where does the inside come from, right? The inside comes from the fact that, well, if it's coming from the ad court over there, the ball has not crossed your body, that makes it an inside stroke, okay? So which one's better? Well, if you haven't already guessed it, you'd rather be hitting inside strokes instead of outside strokes. Inside strokes are generally easier to hit. There's less complexity involved with the shot, with changing the direction of the ball or anything like that. When the ball has not crossed your body before you have to make contact. So in general, you're looking for inside strokes, okay? This is another way of thinking about it. It's not just thinking about, do I want forehands or backhands, or do I want to hit cross court, or do I want to hit down the line? Yes, those are factors you want to take in consideration when you're choosing which shots you want to go for, which patterns you want to play and all that. But they're not the only ones, and probably the most overlooked aspect is, am I hitting an inside or an outside stroke, or am I making my opponent hit an inside or an outside stroke, okay? I think today maybe the best example of a player who used this strategy really well was Agassi. Now I know he's not like a current player or anything like that. He's not one of the Federer, the Nadals, the Djokovic's, or some of the younger guns coming up and everything like that. But in my opinion, actually the guy who used this, when you watch his matches, when you watch his style of play, Agassi was a guy who controlled play from the baseline really, really well, and he did that two ways. Mainly, one, by really staying on the baseline, taking the ball earlier. He says this himself, if he could take the ball 10% earlier, that's what he's looking for. And also, he was a master at controlling play from the baseline by giving himself a look at a maximum of inside strokes and not outside strokes, okay? Like I said, this is an important concept to know, because shot selection is one of the reasons, maybe one of the main reasons for why players make a lot of unforced errors. When a player makes an unforced error, you look at it and you say, okay, was it a technical issue? Did they just not execute the shot correctly? Was it a physical issue? Were they tired? Or were their legs tired? Were they out of breath? Was it a concentration or a focus issue? Was the player just mentally just disconnected and not present there with what they were doing? Or was it shot selection? That is, maybe the player was on the ball, they were watching the ball, they were focused, but they're just not actually choosing the right shot. That's probably one of the most underrated, underused reasons for why we make unforced errors. We always think it's something technical, when it's usually the technicality of the shot is the last thing you want to think about or worry about, okay? So understanding what an inside stroke is, what an outside stroke is going to help you understand better how to play this game, how to set up patterns, how to create little mini advantages for yourself in the point, which, you know, don't always result to things all the time, but I'm not going to get into the 54, 46% topic right now in terms of points won and lost or anything like that, but sometimes it's those little advantages that you need to create for yourself as a tennis player, which in the long run will make the difference for you, okay? So That's good. That's it for today. I just wanted you guys to know what an inside stroke is and what an outside stroke is, because in the future I want to share with you guys a lot of different kind of patterns and strategy concepts that are really helpful to know when you play tennis. And if you just have never heard of or don't know what an inside or an outside stroke is, it's going to make it a little bit trickier for you to understand. So that's that for today. If I forgot something, let me know in the comments below, or if you want to add anything to that, and I'll get back to you, or any video topics you'd like to see, let me know, okay? And until the next video, we'll see you then.